and welcome to the Cheltenham Exchange, and a very special night for us tonight because we've got an interview with conditional jockey Caoilin Quinn, who's been riding predominantly for the Gary Moore yard of late, and he's very kindly come on to have a chat with us, answer some questions and so on. So thank you very much, Caoilin. Lovely, great to see you.
Yeah, you're welcome. No worries.
For giving us your time. It's fantastic. From the team, we've got John, stalwart John, and Ian. Rainman's with us as always. Alex and Matty are away tonight. So yeah, highly professional as always. Going to chuck some questions at Caoilin. We've had a few questions from a couple of sources, Twitter and what have you, that from people wanted to know. So we're going to go easy to start with, and then we're going to interrogate him and make sure he gives us some horses that we can put money on, etc. Okay, so shall I kick off the first question, chaps, and then
go for it.
Right, so first question we've got: how long have you been riding, and how did you get into it?
I've been riding since I was about 6 years of age. I started off just riding little ponies and stuff, and show jumping and hunting and whatnot in Ireland. And my cousin Connor Smith actually got me into racing. He used to have a couple of pointers back home, and I used to go out with him in the evenings and that, and he used to let me have a sit on them while he led them round, and then I just sort of got the bug from then, I think.
Well, funny you say, Caoilin, when I was doing research, I probably wouldn't say that. I went on YouTube and a couple of videos come up, and he was on a horse called Nothing But Trouble. So was that pointing, or was that
no?
Pony riding?
That was pony racing. Yeah, I rode. Yeah,
you looked young. I don't know how old you was, but you looked young in those videos.
Yeah,
still looks young, Ian.
I think it was about 12 then. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Nothing But Trouble. I won twice on him at the Dingle Pony Racing Festival.
Oh wow! So what's it over? What kind of distance did you used to?
He used to run over a mile.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So pony racing just sort of goes from 6 furlongs to 2 mile, 2 mile horse races, and then the ponies and that would run over sort of 5-6 furlongs, a mile maybe.
And that was in Ireland?
That was in Ireland, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was and were you pony racing at the same sort of time? I was reading as like Ross Orion and Jack Kennedy and a few people that sort of age, is it?
Yeah, Ross is one of my good mates, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Ross is one of my good mates, actually. I know him over here as well. Yeah, Jack was riding at the same time as well. Yeah, loads of the top lads now nearly I've ridden against at pony racing.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, Ross is doing well on the flat, isn't he?
Very well, yeah.
Did you get the thing you say about Ross going on to the flat? Did you have or could have had the opportunity to be a flat jockey, or was you always wanted to be a jump jockey?
When I was younger, my passion was for jumps, but I was quite small and light when I was pony racing. And even till, up to the age of 15, I was still quite light. And obviously, I was sort of aiming towards a flat. But I 16, 17, I sprouted up and got a bit heavier. So I thought the jumps was the only route I could go down, really.
Nice ones. And so, Gary Moore yard at the moment, you're in with them, and you were with Warrant Great Tricks, were you, I think, up until sort of last year. And so how did that come about, moving to Gary's yard then?
Yeah, when I first come over, I went to Warren's. That was my first yard over here. I was with him for 4 years, I think. And then last season I rode 2 winners for Gary, and in the summer, just at the end of the season, he offered me the job to come down, and given the horses he has and whatnot, and it was a great opportunity, and I couldn't turn it down. And at the time, Warren was, he didn't have the firepower really. He had a lot of young stock that were just coming through. So he was just sort of rebuilding at the last season as well. I'm glad to see that it's picked up for him now, Warren. He's having a good few winners now. But yeah, it just felt at the time that it was the right moves to come down here.
I imagine it's a very sort of family atmosphere, I would imagine, within the Moor Yard, from everything you read and see.
They're all great now. They're all very hands-on. Gary, Josh, Jamie, Jane, they're all about the yard every day. They graft harder than anyone, so they deserve everything that they're getting at the minute, to be honest.
And how's Josh doing? Is he doing okay after?
He's doing very well. Yeah. He's back riding now. He rides 3 or 4 lots a day, and he's slowly coming around to focusing on the training side of things. But yeah, he's made miracle recovery really from how he was, sort of 6 months ago or in the summertime to how he is now. But yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, good to hear that. Really good.
Well, what kind of rehabilitation does say like a jockey does get injured? What kind of, and I know it depends on the injury. What kind of rehabilitation do you have to do, or what do you guys have to do?
So there's injured jockey centres. The closest one to be us would be Oaksey House in Lambourne, and they've a great team there of people that know what they're doing, and they're very, very good, and they know that most jockeys, when they get injured, especially jump jockeys, that they want to be back as quickly as possible, so they just sort of speed up the process. It just depends what sort of injuries they have. They'll do. They've lots of different machines and whatnot there to focus on whatever injury you have, and it just sort of speeds up the process.
Okay, so moved to Gary Moore last year, as you were saying, and early November had a very nice win on Botox Has in a Class 1 staying hurdle. I think John had a particular interest in that, John.
Yeah, he's one of my cliff horses. He is. I just have to follow him all the way through. I've liked him ever since his debut a couple of years ago. So, yeah, would you say that was like your biggest win to date? Would you, Caoilin?
Definitely, yeah. That was my biggest win so far. It was great. It was a great day. I said it plenty of times before, but I can't say thank you enough to the owners and my boss enough for the opportunity. I was only here a couple of months, and to put me up in a big race like that was, it was great, and thankfully it delivered on the day.
Yeah, it was some performance on the day, because I think he was one of the outsiders, wasn't he, in the field, if not the price in the race, I think, at one point.
Yeah, he was sort of 16-1, I think. There was plenty of other fancy ones, but we were fairly confident going into the race that he wouldn't be far away. His work was good at home, and the track suited, the trip suited, the ground. Everything was in his favour. And yeah, we were confident going into that race that day at Haydock.
Yeah. How's he going at the moment? Because I see he's got the entry at the weekend in the Cleve Hurdle, hasn't he? So.
Yeah, he's in the Cleve Hurdle on Saturday at Cheltenham. Yeah, he's going well. His work's been good again. The last time he ran at Cheltenham over 2.5, it was just a bit short for him. Yeah. I think stepping him back up the 3 mile, that'll really suit him. And yeah, he's been going really well. We're confident again with him, and he loves Cheltenham as well. So hopefully he can put in a big performance on Saturday again.
Are you going to be there on Saturday? I'm there, and I know that much. Are you going, Ian?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there.
We'll be there. Are you going to be jocked up, or wouldn't you find out yet?
I'm not sure. It's a grade 2, so I don't get the claim in it. But it's I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I might get the ride back on him, but I assume Jamie would be on him. Just a bit more experience on it, an even bigger race than the one I won on him on. But I wouldn't rule myself out of not being on him.
Oh, well, we'll be there to cheer you up the hill anyway if you're on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Best of luck. Great. So away from racing, have you got interests away from racing? You're Northern Ireland boy, I think. Here, I hope I'm right when I say Northern Ireland.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, have you got any interest, any other sports?
I'm interested. I quite like a bit of golf during the summer. I play a bit of golf. I'm quite interested in football. I follow the Premier League and whatnot.
Who's your team?
And Liverpool.
Oh no. Better my team anyway.
We'll let you off. We'll cut that one short now. Edit that bit.
Yeah. Few of the lads will be happy, won't they? Lee and Charlie will be happy. So.
Oh yeah.
So you a good golfer then, Caoilin?
Am I a good golfer? Sometimes.
Sounds promising. Sounds promising. There's some nice courses in Northern Ireland anyway, and all that.
Yeah. I to be fair, I haven't played a lot at home. I only really picked it up when I come over here.
Okay. Love it. Right. Okay. So, another question was how you like to relax. So I guess a bit of golf might be one of that. And, you probably don't get much time with all the travelling and work you're doing. So, looking at some of the questions we maybe had sent in. Let's kick off with Charlie. Charlie, one of our old favourites. And he's asked, if you could pick 2 races to win in your career, which would they be and why?
For the obvious ones, the Grand National. Everyone wants to win that as a jump jockey. My second one would probably be Queen Muller Champion Chase.
Oh.
Okay.
I quite like the thrill of going around Cheltenham on a proper 2-mile chaser. I haven't experienced it yet, but hopefully I will. But that would be my second one that I'd like to win as well.
Yeah, I've heard a few jockeys say the same thing. 2-mile chase are just banging over those hurdles like they reckon it's like the best thing in the world, isn't it, for a jockey?
Yeah.
What's the horse that Gary Moore had that won the champion?
Sarah de Grugy.
That was it.
Yeah, he's still here in the yard, Jamie.
Oh, really?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
God, I don't know how old he'd be now.
Yeah, he'd be near the same age as me, I'd say.
Yeah.
Still young, then. Still young. Okay, on a similar note, then again, Chase is asking, what's your favourite or the most talented horse that you've ridden so far, in your opinion? And I'd also noted down a question where I was going to ask if you could ride any horse, past or present, any horse at all, which would it be? So, yeah, the favourite or most talented horse you've ridden so far, and kind of the dream horse to ride. What do you reckon?
Probably the most talented I've ridden is probably Botox. He's a very classy horse on his day. And if I could ride any horse past or present, I would have liked to have a sit on Cotto Star.
Great choice.
Yeah.
What about present then? You do a present one as well.
Present.
Any horse.
I know you're pushing for it, John.
Probably Constellation Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That'll be Sunset as well, wouldn't it, being on him?
So is there the same sort of kind of
Yeah.
in the weighing room as there, Caoilin? Is it, is there a lot of talk of it being a proper monster?
Constellation Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's every time he runs, everyone's amazed by him. Nothing seems to be able to get near him at the minute. But yeah, everyone's sort of speechless when he runs because they can't believe how good he is.
Yeah. Because it'll be a good watch, whatever, won't it? Okay.
Definitely, yeah. It's been a long.
So, a couple of other questions we've had sent in. Going back to sport, other sports and what have you, whether it be in another sport or as a jockey, did you have a role model growing up and someone you looked up to, aspired to be? And
yeah, obviously, but AP and Ruby, I watched a lot from when I was very young. When I first got into racing, it'd be AP and Ruby for me. That were my inspiration when I was younger, and even now.
Yeah, I mean, it was some generation, that, wasn't it? To be honest with you, the two.
Yeah, definitely.
A couple of questions that I got given from a forum, so we're going to be poking you for info here. Chris Evans, I don't think it is the Chris Evans off the radio. Chris Evans has asked, are there any unraced novices? He did say it's getting a bit late in the season now, but are there any unraced novices you've sat on that we should be looking out for in a bumper or hurdle over the next 2 or 3 months?
We do tend to run a lot of bumper horses. Sort of the ones that would run on bumpers probably would wait till next season to go over hurdles, or they'd run straight away. Most of the ones I've sat on have already ran. Obviously, I rode that Jupiter Geek quite a bit when I first came. That one at Newbury. It was very unexpected that day. He won at Newbury.
Was that jet powered? I think I thought even Gary was taking it back.
Yeah, we actually fancied our other one in it. Instant. We thought he was quite a nice horse, and sort of Jupiter. He's a bit of a handful at home. Niall rides him every day now. He's a handful at home, so we couldn't really get a good gauge on him of how actually good he was. He was very good at Newbury. I think he's in on Saturday as well in the Triumph Trial. So it'd be interesting to see how he handles Cheltenham as well.
Speaking of yard horses, another question that we got sent in from Stephen Drake asked, I'd be interested to hear what the yard thinks about Bo Zenith, son of Zarak. He was well hyped, well punted, and beaten at Sandown. He's entered at Warwick tomorrow, but I think Warwick's now off, I think, as far as I know.
Yeah, Warwick.
So he does say no prices yet. Well, unfortunately, he's not going to get any prices. But he would be interested to know if there's any long-term aim for Bo Zenith.
He's actually in the Triumph Trial on Cheltenham on Saturday as well. There's a few entries now. I'm not sure if he'll run or not. He might do. We were sort of scratching. Like, his work was very good at home and whatnot. Obviously, yes, there was a lot of hype around him when he came from France. We were sort of scratching our heads with him the last day the way he ran, or maybe blaming it on the ground. It was very testing that day at Sandown. So yeah, if he runs on Saturday on better ground, and then we'll get a proper gauge off him then.
Interesting to watch then if he's going there, and you boys will be there watching.
Yeah,
nine races. It'll be a long day.
While we're talking about the juveniles, I quite like Perseus Way, Caoilin, and I think he looks a bit babyish to me, but he seems to be improving as he goes along.
Before you carry on here, John, I was going to get Caoilin to put Ian in his place, because you see we got John here, Perseus Way. Ian, what do you call the horse?
I'll call, when we've done a review, I'll call it Peresus Way, I think, because I've totally got the wrong
Put him.
called it the wrong name completely.
Once for all. Put him straight.
We call him Percy's Way.
Percy.
Yeah, I noticed that he didn't get a Triumph entry today. So could he be one that we're looking at for the Boodles, perhaps?
Maybe, yeah. He's a lovely big horse. Obviously, he came from Owen Burrows, and he's been good so far. He has been quite babyish, and he's starting to learn his job now. He's a nice big horse, so he probably would benefit from a fence as well in time. But yeah, I'm not sure what the target with him, but he's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, I mean, I've followed him all season, haven't I? So, you know, he had some good form on the flat, I thought, like, and, you know, he's obviously learning a new game, isn't he? And he's definitely one to keep in the tracker, I think, isn't he?
Definitely, yeah. As I said, he'll probably improve from a fence as well. Once he goes over fences, maybe next year, or he'll improve again, I think. But yeah, even with him, we're like he's sort of hard to get a gauge on, especially at home. He wouldn't be the best workhorse at home, so he wouldn't show you quite a lot. And that's maybe 10, but that's probably, but when he goes to the races, he probably does the same. And he sort of rides at home. He only gives you as much as you ask him, which is not a bad thing. You know, when you have to get stuck into him in the finish, he's always going to be there for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Good to hear. So yeah, get it in your trackers if you know how to spell it properly, Ian. Okay. Well, any more? Rayman, have you got anything you want to?
You've got one there about his favourite race course?
There was one, yeah. Have you got a favourite race course? And if so, why?
My favourite race course, probably in Newbury. Newbury's probably it's a lovely track to ride. Right, I haven't ridden a winner there, but I've had a handful of rides there, and it's just a lovely track to ride. You know, it's tactical. It's very simple. It's a very fair track as well. The best horse always wins on it. So yeah, Newbury would be my favourite track, I think.
Newbury is. I did wonder if you were going to say Fakenham, because I vaguely remembered an unbelievable win early on in the season, and I went back and looked today, and it was a horse called Voroshan.
Fontwell.
Oh, was it Fontwell? Sorry, not
yeah,
Fakenham.
yeah, Fontwell. Yeah, that was unexpected as well. I didn't think I would get up to win that day.
You were about half the track behind after the last bit.
Yeah, I was nearly a hurdle behind. Yeah.
Excellent. That was some ride, that. So yeah, we're not going to keep you too much longer. We have noticed, as we mentioned before, you're at Catterick tomorrow, and I'm a bit of a stato man, and I was looking. You've got 2 there for Ryan Potter tomorrow, and I was having a look. You've got a pretty impressive strike rate when riding for that yard. I make it off the Racing Post today. 5 wins and 7 seconds from 27 rides for the yard, which is pretty impressive stuff. So 2 for Mr. Potter tomorrow. Are you hopeful on them?
I think they should run okay. Yeah. My first one, Light Flicker, I finished second on him at Weatherby. I think it was 2 starts ago. He was very unlucky that day. He just got pipped on the line. And the second one, he's big raw horse. He'll probably benefit from going over fences. So I'm hoping he could show more that he's showing at the minute. But I've always said that he'll benefit from fences as well.
So a bit of a trek up there. I think you said it's about a 5-hour journey for you tomorrow. So
yeah, I'll be away early in the morning. I'll probably ride one lot out before I go, and then I'll kick on up the road.
Crikey.
I don't know how you guys do it.
No point you
I
going
know, I
again.
don't either. It's mad.
Excellent. Okay, lads, have you got any more?
I've got one more. It's kind. I don't know if you want to call it personal, but I wrote here: how does how does being a jockey affect your lifestyle, like your day-to-day routines? And obviously, you can't. Obviously, depending on where you are in the country, you can't just go out and go shopping or go and meet friends or family. Or just how does it affect your routine, or how, if you can plan much? Like, more personal, I think.
Yeah, it's especially during the winter when you're busy. You do have to work around your rides, but you're still able to do plenty of stuff. I have friends in different parts of the country, so if I'm riding near a track near them, I can go meet them for a meal or something after, and you can find ways around it. But you do have to work around your ride, especially when you're busy.
We said about Christmas, I suppose it's with the rides, and depending where the rides you have, I suppose you have to fit Christmas around seeing people around where you are as well, or you would have had to.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I don't get to see my family at Christmas, so they try to come over before, and they come over for a long weekend before, and I get to see them then, and I sort of tell them to come over, a weekend where there's not a lot of racing on, or if I am going to be riding, that's going to be close to where I live, so I'm not away for too long, and they're able to come racing with me as well then. But yeah, Christmas it's a very busy time, so sort of Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, you can go see a few friends, or if needs be, but sort of Boxing Day onwards, New Year's, it's quite busy.
I've got one more. It's to do with the festival. Now, bearing in mind it's in March, but does that, including yourself and the jockeys around with Gary, does he have like plans as to where potentially which horse goes where, and who potentially could be jocked up on the horse? Does he plan that far in advance, or not really?
No, he wouldn't really plan that far ahead to the festival. It's some of the horses that maybe run there might have another run or two before they go there, so it all depends, how their next runs go. Well, there's, he'd only send horses there if he thinks they had a real live chance. Gary's not for one and just taking part. And yeah, mostly at big meetings like that, more than likely Jamie would be on them. And me and Niall, which is not a bad thing, going to the smaller meetings, because we'll have runners elsewhere, especially during the week of the festival. And yeah, Jamie mainly goes to the main meeting, which is more than likely the good horses, and then me and Niall sort of just share the smaller meetings and that, which is not a bad thing, because especially big meeting, when big meetings are on like that, Gary seems to target the small meetings with plenty of other horses, and he does very well with it. So it's not a bad thing if you're sort of going to the smaller meetings.
And you're in the running in the conditionals championship yourself. What are you on? 13 runners, 13 winners.
12 for the season, yeah. I thought it was going quite well before Christmas, and then that freeze came, and I've just struggled to get on a roll again. Hopefully I finish the season off strong. I think it'll be very hard to catch Luca Morgan. He's leading at the minute. I think it'll be very hard to catch him. But hopefully, I finish the season strong, and then I can crack on through the summer and try and build up a few winners for hopefully to have a good go at it next year.
Brilliant. Well, we'll be following you without doubt.
We will.
100%. So yeah, I mean, if
Thank you very much.
boys have no more questions, I can just again thank you ever so much for giving us the time tonight and coming on with us. It's been brilliant and really insightful and interesting from my perspective, and I'm sure from the boys, and I'm certain that anyone watching it will really enjoy it. So yeah, all I can say is thank you massively for your time. We really appreciate it, and best of luck tomorrow, and the very best of luck for the rest of the season. And we'll be following you, like I say, 100% very closely. We all will. Wish you all the best, Caoilin.
Thank you very much, lads.
Really,
thanks for coming on.
So
no worries. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. And before we leave, keep what is it, Ian?
Liking, sharing, subscribing,
all that stuff. And, thanks again to Lloyd at Hacked Up Racing Gifts, who's a close supporter and has offered 25% off if using a code, Ian, which is
Exchange 25 on the Hacked Up website.
Gets 25% off Hacked Up goods if you're interested. And that's it from us until the next video, which won't be long, I don't think. I think we're recording again soon. So
recording on Thursday for Trials Day, and go out Friday morning.
Excellent. Thank you, Rayman. Thank you, Jonathan. And a massive thank you again to Caoilin Quinn. And all the best.
Thank you very much, lads. See you soon.